I started off as an accountant, then moved into financial planning, my own accounting business, and I'd been asked to do a short stint with the Queensland State Government. I did that, and then I got invited back some time later to do 6 weeks' work, and that 6 weeks ended up being 19 years. So I've seen quite large parts of Queensland that people would normally not get to see, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Recently, I've semi-retired from government. I've set up a buyer's agency for specialising just in commercial property, and with Muthu we've now started this book series. The retirement, or my semi-retirement, has been basically funded by 3 commercial properties which have performed quite well, and the commercial properties is one of the topics that we do cover in our book series, It's Time. The book series, It's Time, so we've got It's Time, the A to Z of property in financial terms. We then move into It's Time with the setting financial and personal goals. The next book in the series then is It's Time Residential Investments. We then move on to It's Time Commercial Investments. From there, we then tie that together with It's Time Creating Strategy. The next book in the series is It's Time Planning for Retirement. And then we've added a book after that, It's Time Retire Mentors. It is very much a holistic approach. We certainly don't have any particular financial aspect that we're trying to sell within the book. So we do basically cover aspects such as property investment, shares, managed funds. So we will touch on those in general. We look at budgeting. We look at how people may be able to save money when they've retired. We talk about various insurances and suggest that whether people are in their 40s or 50s, they need to have insurances, whether it be life insurance, income protection insurance, so that if anything does happen, that their plans for retirement aren't completely derailed. But we're also suggesting that once they maybe reach in their a couple of years before retirement, whether it be 60 or 65, that they also then need to reconsider their insurances. Most income protection policies only pay through to age 65, so if you had a serious illness or accident when you're 63, then it's possible that the insurance company would only pay for another 2 years, and whether the policy or the cost of the policy outweighs the gains that you'd have. So you know, when you turn 60, maybe it's time to reconsider and reevaluate all your insurance policies. There's something like 5 million odd baby boomers in Australia, and I think 77 million in the US, let alone the rest of the Europe and other parts of the world. So there is a massive number of people that will be retiring, and this is, in Australia, the baby boomers are probably the most affluent and the ones that are likely to have the longest period in retirement. So what they do in that period is very much an unknown, but it's also very exciting as to what the baby boomers and even the Gen Xers may ultimately do in retirement. The idea of the book is really planning for retirement, so people from maybe 45 onwards. It is very relevant, and the sooner that people can start planning for retirement, then ultimately the better off they will be in retirement. Muthu and I have had enough with writing the books, and we've been very fortunate in finding a chief editor in a person called Tony. Tony has an academic background and is very methodical and very precise in editing. For the different books, we've also then brought in other editors with some expertise in their particular field. And so in terms of the blockchain cryptocurrency, we've gone to, I think, about 6 different people for editing comments and for advice on particular areas of their expertise. But ultimately, Tony will then be the editor for the final draft, and so we are very, very happy and very privileged to have Tony on board.